Alright, hello guys. So today we are going to discuss the measure of central tendency. It is still a part of the descriptive statistics. Pag sinabi natin descriptive statistics, it is the part of the statistics that deals with the collection and then presentation of data. So last time we discussed different types of graphs and then the frequency distribution table kung saan pwede nating i-display yung data natin. Now, an easier way to display data is using the measures of central tendency. Ano ba yung mga measures of central tendency natin? We have three types, the mean, the median, and then the mode. Mean is the average, median is the central data because it is the middle data pag inarrange mo yung data mo from highest to lowest. And then mode is the center data because it is the most occurring data in your data set. So what does this mean? So as a measure of central tendency, it measures the performance of a group. For example, nag-exam kayo and you found out, nalaman nyo na ang average score ay 85. So if you get a score higher than 85, that means your grade is above average. If your score is less than 85, then your score is below average. So, baka kailangan nyo pang mag-aral. So, it measures your performance. So, hindi na tayo magtatagal. Punta tayo sa first measure of central tendency, which is the mean for ungroup data. Ito yung kadalasang ginagamit natin. Yung mean ay tinatawag din natin na arithmetic mean or minsan average. So the formula here is we have x bar is equal to the summation of x all over n. So yung symbol ng summation ay yung Greek symbol na sigma. So summation of x all over n, which is equal to x sub 1 plus x sub 2 plus x sub 3 up to x sub n divided by n, big N, where n is the total number of addends, kung ilan ba yung pinag-add natin. Okay? So, magbigay tayo ng example. So, we have the scores of 15 students in Mathematics Quiz 1 with 25 items. So, here, the highest score is 25 and then the lowest is 10. Find the mean in the following scores. Okay? So, we have here 25 data sets. The first step is we need to add them. I-add muna natin siya and then i-divide natin sa 15. Bakit 15? Sir, kasi 15 sila na nag-exam or 15 yung ating data point. So, taking the sum, we get 228 divided by 15 which is equal to 15.2. So, therefore, the mean is 15.2. If you get a grade higher than 15, then your performance is good. But if you get a grade lower than 15, then your performance is below average, which means kailangan mo pa ng mag-aral pa uli. Okay. Next is what we call the weighted mean. This is also a a type of mean. X bar is equal to the sum of x sub i's times w sub i's all over the sum of the w sub i's. Yung w natin dito, yun yung ating mga weight. So, ano po yung weight na tinatawag natin? Every score has a weight pagdating sa weighted mean or yung tinatawag natin na bigat. For example, sa grades ninyo, as you can see, yung PE ninyo, ang units lang niya ay 2.0, which means yung bigat niya or yung impact niya sa grades nyo ay less than that of normal subjects. Okay? So, kasi ang MS102, ang units niya ay 3, ang PE, ang units niya ay 2.0. Therefore, it has a higher weight or yung tinatawag natin na bigat. Okay, so saan ba natin ginagamit itong weighted mean? We often use the weighted mean to compute the grades. Yung GWA nyo or yung G1 na tinatawag. How do we compute the GWA? The first step is to multiply the grade with each unit. So, i-multiply lang natin yung mga grade sa kanilang corresponding units. For example, dito sa English, 1.25, i-multiply natin siya sa 3 to get a score of 3.75 and so on and so forth. So 3.75, 3, 7.5, 3, 4.5. The next step is to what? Take the sum of the products and sum the weights. Ano ba yung sum ng products? 32. And then the sum of the units is 26. Finally, i-plug in na natin siya sa ating formula. We will get the sum of x sub I times w sub I all over the sum of the w sub i's is equal to 32 all over 26, which is equal to 1.23. So, yan ang GWA nung bata na sinabi. So, G1 ni Paulo. So, he has a GWA of a summa cum laude. Okay? Okay, so that is the weighted mean. Now, what about for group data? Ano ba sir yung group data? When we say group data, these are the data scores that are arranged in a frequency distribution. So, yung inaral na natin kanina. Last time, yung mga data na naka-frequency distribution table. So, how do we compute it? We have here a simple formula. So, x bar is equal to the sum of, f times cm all over n, where cm is the class mark or yung class midpoint natin. So, first, kailangan muna natin computein si class mark and then i-multiply natin siya sa frequency. Take the sum and then divide it by n. So, if we consider here this step, so you can screenshot this or post para madali nyong isulat yung ating step. But we'll take a look at this using our example. Taking a look at our example, so we need to find the mean of the following data. So, we have x, yung ating mga class intervals nasa left and then yung frequency natin nasa right. The first step is to find the class marks. Yung class marks po natin ay yung gitna ng ating class interval. For example, 10 to 14, ang gitna niya ay 12. If you want to compute this manually, we get 10 plus 14 divided by 2 is equal to 12. Therefore, the class mark of the first class interval is 12. And then you just need to compute the following. So, 12, then 17, 22, and so on, so forth. After computing for the class mark, we multiply the frequency with the class mark. So, for example, i-multiply natin si 5 times 12, which is 60. 2 times 17, 34. 3 times 22, 66. And so on, so forth. After computing the products, we need to take the sum, which is 1,345. It is easier to do this computation sa Excel kasi nga kailangan nyo lang i-plug in yung formula sa taas and then i-drag nyo na lang para makuha yung susunod na values. Okay? And then plugging it in our formula, we get f times cm, summation is equal to 1,345 divided by 40, which is equal to 33.625. Okay, so yan na yung ating mean for our group data. Next, we have the median. So again, sabi ko yung median ay yung gitna natin, the middlemost data or the 50th percentile. So how do we get the median? The first step is to arrange your data. Pwedeng lowest to highest or highest to lowest. And then hanapin nyo lang yung gitna. For example dito, find the median scores of the 7 students in an English class. We get 2, 5, 19, 10, 16, and 17, 15. Okay? Kung hindi nyo pa napapansin, yung data natin dito ay hindi siya naka-arrange. So, kung i-arrange natin siya, magiging 2, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 19. Therefore, ang gitna natin ay 15. So, the median is 15. When it comes to this example naman, so we have a score of 8 students. So, therefore, 8 yung data points natin. So, if you can see here, by just observing, makita nyo na dalawa yung gitna natin. So, in this case, we just need to add the two middle numbers. So, 15 plus 16, which is equal to 31. Divided by 2, we get 15.5. So, yun yung ating median. So, medyo madali lang kumuha ng median kasi nga, arrange lang and then hanapin mo yung gitna. But when it comes to the median of a group data, meron tayong formula. So, the symbol for median is x tilde, which is equal to the lower class boundary plus n over 2 minus the CFP times class size divided by the frequency of the median class. Okay? So what is the LCB? LCB is the lower class boundary of the median class. N is the total number of frequency. CFP is the cumulative frequency of the class before the median class. So, if you can recall, dun sa ating lesson last week, yung CFP or yung cumulative frequency ay madali lang naman kunin. I-add nyo lang yung mga tinatawag natin na frequency, no? So, para siyang nadadagdagan. So, F sub M is the frequency of the median class. So, how do we compute the median of a group data? Paano naman pag naka-group siya? So, we have here the following steps. Complete the table for cumulative frequency. Find the median class. Okay? And then determine the LCB, CFP, F sub M, and then the CS. So, si CS yung tinatawag natin na class size or ilan ba yung laman ng isang class interval. For example, eto, find the median of the following data. So, sabi dun sa ating steps, the first step is to complete the cumulative frequency. So, paano na nga mag-compute ng cumulative frequency? I-copy lang natin yung frequency nung unang class. So, we get 5 and then we add 2, magiging 7. Plus 3, magiging 10, and then so on, so forth. Okay, yan na yung ating cumulative frequency. The next step is to find the median class. The median class contains the n over 2 data. So, yung n over 2 natin na data ay yung pang 20th na data. Kasi ang n natin dito ay 40. Okay, 40 divided by 2 is 20. So, nasaan yung 20th na data? So, kung titingnan natin yung CFP na row, 5, 7, 10 data, 15 data, 17 data. So, yung pang 20th ay nandito kay 26. So, sa 35 to 39. Okay? So, this will be our median class. Kasi nandyan yung ating 20th na data or yung ating middle data. Okay? Baka ang kunin nyo sa mga susunod ay yung 30 to 34 kasi siya yung gitna. No. Ang titingnan nyo yung pinakagitna na data. Nasaan ba yung 20th na data? The next step is to find the CFP. So, CFP stands for cumulative frequency of the previous class. So, ano yung CFP natin? Yung previous class before the median class, it is the number 17. So, yan yung ating CFP. Next is the lower class boundary of the median class. We can easily compute this. We get the lower limit of the median class and then the upper limit of the class before it. So, we get 34 plus 35 divided by 2 which is equal to 34.5. So, yan yung ating LCB. Ngayon, alam na natin yung ating mga values. Madali na lang siyang i-plug in. So, 34.5 plus 40 divided by 2 minus 17 times 5 all over 9. So, saan po nakuha yung CS na 5? So, kung natatandaan nyo, yung CS ay class size. So, madali lang siyang kunin. For example, yung dalawang magkasunod na class interval natin, for example, 10 to 14, saka 15 to 19, isusubtract lang natin yung lower limits nila. For example, 15 minus 10, we get 5. Therefore, our class size is 5. So, simplifying, we get 40 divided by 2 is 20. We get 3 times 5, 9, which is equal to what? 1.67 plus 34.5, which is 36.17. Okay, so this is our group median. Okay, finally, we get the mode for the ungrouped data. The mode or the modal score is a score that occurred most in the distribution. Siya yung pinakamarami. So, a dataset can have one mode, which is unimodal, 2 modes, which is bimodal, and then 3 modes, which is trimodal. If we get more than 1 or if we get more than 3 modes, ang tawag na natin dun ay multimodal. Okay? So, dito kung titignan nyo sa section A, ano yung pinakamaraming score? 20. Therefore, 20 is our mode. Sa section B, tie si 24 at saka si 18 kasi pareho silang dalawa. Therefore, our mode is what? 2. Dalawa yung mode natin. Bimodal siya. 24 and 18. Pag titignan naman natin si section C, we get 25, 21, and 18. So, tatlong mode siya. Tri-modal. Okay? What about for group data? We get here x hat is equal to LCB plus D1 times class size divided by D1 and D2. Kunin natin yung sum ng D1 tapos si D2. Ano ba si D1? D1 is the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the frequency above it when the scores are arranged from lowest to highest. And then D2 is the difference between the frequency of the modal class and then the frequency below it when the scores are arranged from lowest to highest. And then CS is the class size. Sir, ano ba si modal class? So, the modal class is the class or category with the most frequency. So, dito, madali lang naman siyang i-inspect. The one with the most frequency is yung 35 to 39 with a frequency of 9. Okay? Therefore, our modal class is this one. 35 to 39, ang frequency niya ay 9. Now, computing for D1 and D2. Madali lang computing si D1 and D2. I-subtract lang natin siya mula sa numbers na nakapalibot sa kanya. So, D1 is equal to 9, minus 2, which is equal to 7. So, ima-minus mo yung 9 dun sa number sa taas niya. And then, similarly, D2 is equal to 9 minus 6, which is equal to 3. Now, we need to find the LCB of the modal class. Tulad ng LCB ng median class, madali lang siyang kunin. We take the lower limit of the modal class, which is 35, and then the upper limit of the class above the modal class, which is 34. So, 35 plus 34 is equal to 69 divided by 2, which is 34.5. Yan yung ating lower class boundary. Now that we know the values, we just need to plug it in our formula. We get 34.5 plus 7 times 5 divided by 7 plus 3. Simplifying, we get 34.5 plus 3.5. So, unahin nyo yung nasa taas, which is 7 times 5. So, 35 lang yan, divided by 10, which is 3.5. Simplifying, we get the mode of 38. So, ang mode pala natin ay 38. Okay? So, that's it for the discussion ng ating group median, group mode, at saka ng group mean. Okay? At saka ng mean median mode. So, here, at the end, we have an assignment na pwedeng gawin ng 5 members. So, at least 5 members per group. Pwede namang less than. I will accept less than 5. Pero wag kayong lalagpas sa 5 groups. Okay? So, the first assignment is to find the mean, median, and mode of the following data. Sa mean lang naman kayo matatagalan dito. Si mode at saka si median, madali lang siyang hanapin. And then next, find the group mean, group median, and then the group mode of the following data. So, madali na lang to, na-compute na yung LCB, saka yung class mark, hindi nyo naman siya magagamit, pero pre-provide ko na rin siya. Okay, so I think that's it for our discussion. If you have any more questions, kindly PM me. Okay, so thank you for watching, and yung mga assignments nyo, pwede nyo ipasa sa table ko. So, thank you and God bless.